Toledo, Ohio. Detective Tyler Miller and Detective Steve Kaczynski on a traffic stop there.
I'm Homer.
Are you named after him?
I'm Homer. Yeah. And he was actually supposed to buy this car. So
Slide
he told
over.
me just to put the plates on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you put it. It's not the news, is it?
What's that? They're with us.
I don't want to be on no damn news.
You won't be on the news.
Oh, I'm at the thing. I don't got
You don't want to be
nothing
famous?
No, but when did they start doing this shit?
What's that?
When people start complaining about getting beat.
Damn!
I don't know about that.
I know who does. Olympic bronze medalist O'Shea Jones.
For no reason. Will you quit fucking moving? Stop fucking cussing at me. She just hit me. Y'all just see her? I know. She just hit me. I know.
Do with us.
I'm asking who lives here.
Do with us.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
Why y'all coming so close?
Arrest him, and them two. Arrest them. They don't want to leave. They get arrested. You don't leave. You don't arrest them.
Don't touch me. I ain't even do nothing to y'all. What did you mean, get your head? Why you pushing me off the porch? Get on the fucking ground.
Don't stay back. Don't stay back.
Well, let's talk about this failure to disperse. Where 5 or more persons are participating in a course of disorderly conduct in violation of Ohio Vice Code 2917.11, and there are other persons in the vicinity whose presence creates the likelihood of physical harm to persons or property, or of serious public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, a law enforcement officer or other public official may order the participants and such other persons to disperse. No person shall knowingly fail to obey such order. Nothing in this section requires persons to disperse who are peaceably assembled for a lawful purpose. C. Whoever violates this section is guilty of failure to disperse. Except as otherwise provided in section C3, failure to disperse is a minor misdemeanor. Now, it's a misdemeanor of the 4th degree if the failure to obey creates the likelihood of physical harm to persons or is committed at the scene of a fire, accident, disaster, riot, or emergency of any kind. Now, let's discuss this. It's a minor misdemeanor. A minor misdemeanor gets a dude thrown off the porch and tackled. Alright, let's go on this a little bit more. Disorderly conduct, violation of Ohio Vice Code 2917.11, right? Which is, no person shall recklessly cause inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to another by doing any of the following: engage in fighting, threatening harm to persons or property, or violent or turbulent behavior, which there's no accusation of that. Watch the body cam that was provided. Making unreasonable noise or offensively coarse utterance, gesture, or display, or communicating unwarranted and grossly abusive language to any person. There was a call, a noise complaint. Okay, so a noise complaint. Insulting, taunting, or challenging another under circumstances in which this conduct will likely provoke a violent response. Hindering the movement of somebody, creating the conditions physically offensive to persons with a risk of physical harm to persons or property, which is important here. No person while intoxicated, voluntarily intoxicated, shall do any of the following. There's no accusations of these people being intoxicated. Whoever violates this is guilty of disorderly conduct, which is another minor misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor of the 4th degree if the offender persists in disorderly conduct after reasonable warning or request to desist. So there wasn't like, you guys are being obnoxious and you're being loud for the neighborhood, like a noise issue, and you need to stop. And then we got to come back out. So there wasn't a reasonable warning or request to desist because they didn't say we've already been out here once or multiple times. All right, it's not a school safety zone. Now, this here is this is stupid. All right, if the offense is committed in the presence of any law enforcement officer, firefighter, rescuer, medical personnel, any emergency personnel, basically, the charge is enhanced a little bit. So the rest of this doesn't really matter. This wasn't happening in the presence of them because they weren't disorderly at this time. They were just told to move, to remove themselves. So when we look at this, what do we see? Disorderly conduct? Okay, possibly. Minor misdemeanor. Failure to disperse? Possibly. Again, minor misdemeanor. What is the punishment for a minor misdemeanor for the state of Ohio? Here it is. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Because this right here, the officer shall not arrest the person. Notwithstanding any other provision of the revised code, when a law enforcement officer is otherwise authorized to arrest a person for a commission of a minor misdemeanor, the officer shall not arrest the person, but shall issue a citation unless one of the following applies. The offender requires medical care or is unable to provide for his own safety. The offender cannot or will not offer satisfactory evidence of his identity. The offender refuses to sign the citation. They've previously been issued a citation for the commission of that very minor misdemeanor and has failed to do one of the following: appear at the citation, comply with Division C of the section, which is in lieu of appearing at the time, so like they don't go to court for it. So the citation shall have all the following. That doesn't matter. What matters is this right here. Unless this is met. A minor misdemeanor in the state of Ohio, Ohio Revised Code 2935.26 states the offender shall not be arrested. Okay, the alleged offender shall not be arrested. The officer shall not arrest the person, but instead issue a citation. What's the punishment? Financial sanctions for the minor misdemeanor. In addition to imposing court costs pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, the court imposing a sentence upon an offender for a misdemeanor, including a minor misdemeanor, may sentence the offender to any financial sanction or combination of financial sanctions authorized under this section. What would that be? Well, let's go down here and let's find out. For a minor misdemeanor, not more than $150. Not more than $150. Does not have any jail time attached to it. So, what did we see here? We seen a man thrown off a porch and a couple cops pancake him for a minor misdemeanor, which is not an arrestable offense unless they fail to sign a citation or identify themselves. But even if it's two minor misdemeanors, failure to disperse and disorderly conduct, still not arrestable. So the violence by the Toledo Police Department leads up to what we're about to watch now with O'Shea Jones. So you've seen that a guy that wasn't resisting fighting or anything like that, they throw him off the porch, and then they just tackle him without a need to do so. The guy didn't do anything. Then here you have O'Shea Jones, who was asleep in that house, coming to ask some questions. And as you can see, she's peaceful the whole time. This is the moment she walked up to Officer Missler, who, by the way, is a terrible, terrible human being. You might remember her from this gem.
I mean, do you get off on this? Like, why?
You don't need to talk to me.
Neighbors just like everybody. Man, we're neighbors just like everybody else. I don't understand how all this happened. Like, he was like,
He said he wasn't listening.
We are
That's what
residents in the street.
Sure.
He said that he wasn't listening. That's why he got arrested.
Oh, he's gonna get an obstruction. He's gonna resist an arrest. He's gonna
But
get a
we got cameras, so it's okay. Listen, we got cameras. So let's go put this camera so you can watch how y'all actions work. So y'all can get sued.
Or maybe shut the fuck up.
How about that?
Regardless, he's going down. You can't talk to him right now. He'll be out.
What did he go down for? He was on the porch.
He just told you.
He said
Resisting
obstruction.
You've been an asshole and you know that. Come on, bro.
I mean, we weren't over there, so we don't know.
Like, he don't
can't
even
tell you.
want to have a
say
decent
yes or
conversation
no.
with me.
He's
He
talking
walked
about
away.
resisting arrest.
Well,
Yeah,
once
I would be too.
I mean, that's.
He was
Because
at
you're on my
home.
porch.
Okay, I understand that.
Why would you yank me off my porch?
Listen,
Because it's a park.
I get you guys are
I
upset,
can't
but
tell
we
you
weren't
because we
there.
weren't up there.
Yeah, I understand that, but it don't matter. We got O'Shea. Just go get the cameras. Go run the cameras.
He'll get a phone call. He'll call you guys.
Can we get his badge number?
Everything's going to be on the report.
It's all public record.
Just go in
It's
here
all
and
public record.
It's all going to be on
It's
the
all on there. Every officer that was here is going to be on there. Every officer. It'll be on his court papers, arresting officer, all of it. We don't know his badge number.
You have to provide that. That's
Okay, well, I'm going to have to provide somebody else.
It's on there.
I don't even know his badge
But you won't let me go over there.
It's public record. It'll be on the. It'll be on there. No, you don't need it. It's going to say the arresting officer. I don't have it. I don't have his badge number. But you can't.
All these people over here. Sir, I want your badge number. Record him. O'Shea, he don't want to give you his badge number. Record him.
All right, you guys got to start heading
Yeah.
So here is O'Shea Jones's obstructing official business charge. Now, we're going to read this and then watch the video and let me know what you think in the comments if this charge matches what you see in the video. This is obstructing official business, Ohio Revised Code 2921.31. It's a second-degree misdemeanor. Alright? The complainant, being duly sworn, states that O'Shea Jones, the defendant, on or about July 31st did violate this charge, obstructing official business. To wit, on the listed date and time, this unit was assisting in dispersing a large scene of people. While doing so, the defendant, O'Shea Jones, obstructed this unit's ability to carry out its lawful duties by not following orders. That's not obstruction. And trying to get between officers and who they were attempting to address. So this says that these officers were trying to address some people, and O'Shea got in the way and stopped them from being able to do so. But wasn't she walking up asking for a badge number, name, badge number? So yeah, now let's watch what got her arrested.
I live right here.
Okay.
I live right here. Back up! Go! I don't care. Back up! Record that, O'Shea. Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Nope. I'm not even stop here. You can't do that to her phone. Back the fuck up! What is wrong with y'all? You can't do that to her phone. Back up. Okay, give me her phone.
Okay, that's her phone, so you got to keep it.
Okay, but look what she doing though. Y'all
We'll
the
get
problem. Well, what are y'all officers is doing?
Here, take her phone.
Ma'am, stop.
Stop pulling away.
Stop cussing at me.
Stop.
Calm down. You're angry. Calm down. You angry.
Stop
She's
twisting.
angry. All I'm saying, she's squeezing my
Quit
hand
twisting,
for no
quit turning.
reason.
You're just
Will
making
you
it
quit
worse. Just let her
fucking
put your
moving?
phone.
Stop fucking cussing at me. She just hit me. Y'all just see that? I know. She just hit me. I know. She just hit me.
Ma'am,
I know.
ma'am.
She just hit me. You see that? I got him. Right here.
Well, now let's look at Toledo Police Department's use of force policy. So, a non-responsive person to the verbal commands or non-violent passive resistance would get like balance displacement, escort position, additional officers to help, verbal commands, physical commands, de-escalation techniques. So let's go up to the second one up. Pulling away from an officer, running away from an officer, which she wasn't pulling away, she wasn't running away. She got struck in the face. She turned her head because her hands were getting squeezed and wrenched up. She wasn't fighting at all. If you look at her muscles in her arms, they weren't tensed up. She wasn't flexing any muscles to prevent them from doing it. Officer Kill, Savannah Kill, was physically hurting her. You can see it in her face. There's several times you can pause it. You can see the physical response, just the pain that she was being put in by Officer Kill, because Officer Kill was just garbage. Anyways, non-threatening verbal physical actions, refusing to move, dead weight, or just not compliant, they would get weaponless strikes to muscle groups. If I remember correctly, the head and face is not a muscle group. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think it's a muscle group. Stun techniques, takedown techniques, head control techniques, joint manipulation, and pressure points. Okay, so there's no pressure points used. There were no joint manipulations. They were just wrenching the arms up. That's not joint manipulation. The hair and head control. Hair and head control doesn't mean a strike to the head. That's not what that means. Now, wrestling with an officer, pushing away from an officer, active physical, which this is funny, active resistance, verbal or physical. So verbal resistance would get a weapon to strike, punching, kicking, chemical agents, tasers, batons. I mean, come on. Now, when you get violent, the officers have a right to defend themselves, and just like anybody else, against violence. I honestly feel that this officer was way, way out of line. I mean, disgustingly out of line. The intentional pain that she was trying to inflict on O'Shea is ridiculous. I mean, look at her face right here. Watch, top left corner. Watch her face. Right here. She's squeezing and twisting it. She's gonna do it again. He's like, be calm. Like, she's not doing anything wrong. She's just standing there. Like, she's squeezing on her hands, and she's like, why are you doing this? And then all of a sudden they start twisting everybody up. I mean, they all start twisting her up for no reason. She struck her in the head, so now she's trying to defend herself. If you look, let's go back and watch it again. If you want, go back about 15 seconds or so. She hid her face around the other cop to prevent from being struck. It's what it looks like to me, at least. Go back and watch this section again, right after the use of force policy, and watch it again. Once she's struck, it looks like they wrench her arms up, twisting and jabbing into her shoulders and just jacking her shoulders up, and she tucks her face around the cop's backside to protect her face from officer overkill.
You're supposed to be an Olympic boxer.
I am. I asked for your badge number.
Oh, mine? You were talking about mine? It's 355.
I have someone in mind.
Ours is over here, 274.
I didn't know you were talking to me.
She yelled in front of my face.
Oh, yeah, well, you shouldn't have act out like that.
I didn't act out. All I was saying was my words.
Both of you are super disappointed in you. Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you for not doing your job
I
the
am
right
doing
way.
my job.
For not doing your job the right way.
Have a seat in there. Listen this time.
Citizens of Toledo in Northwest Ohio, we must stand up against these tyrants. They are absolutely out of control. The things that they are doing to people with impunity is ridiculous. Thank God Chief Crawl's on his way out. Hopefully we can get someone in with some sense. Mayor Kapsakevich, like I told you in person, this community is sick of it, and they're going to end up policing themselves until you guys fix this.